Let's talk about Passport Bros, guys. The reason why I have chosen this particular topic is because I have seen like a trend in Africa where people want to meet someone from outside of their country because they think a certain way. Yeah. So, in case you don't know what Passport Bros is, I am going to define it for you. So this is a movement. Actually, first let me talk about the background of this movement. Or should I start with first defining or talking about the background? First, okay, I will talk about the first the definition. So Passport Bros, this is a movement of men from these Western worlds, Western countries that are rich and yeah. So they go to third world countries, to find wives or find girlfriends or whatever. Now, let me talk about the background of the movement. The movement first started with the African American men. Yeah, the African American men, because they are stylish, right? So they always start something. So these African American men started the movement because they were just so tired of these Western world women that they thought they were not feminine, because a lot of them are feminists, right? They want to be equal to men, and this kind of made the men angry, such that they were like, okay, screw this. What we are going to do is we're going to be Passport Bros. We are going to these third world countries because the people there are more traditional, are more cultured, are more, you know, the same amount of money that you are making in the US can go a really long way if you took that money to the third world countries. So what they do is they come to third world countries. Usually they come, uh, they come with a tag made in America with a dollar sign. Yeah, and they can literally get any girl they want. Yeah. So I must also mention that over the years, this was first started with African American men. You find that there's all these other men from different races and that has joined the bandwagon. Yeah, as long as they've got money, they will try and go to these third world countries. So now let me talk about the thing that actually prompted me to do this video, because I have seen it. I am going to talk particularly about my own country, and this is Zambia. It's in Africa, third world country. Yeah. So there has been a lot of things such that some people I have seen celebrating once they get an African American man to say, oh, my man. Like, these Passport Bros are so good that they will shower you with presents, they will shower you with everything that they can. But not all Passport Bros are entirely bad. However, there's just some Passport Bros. There's a group of Passport Bros that they go to these third world countries, not because they have the intention of getting married to that person, but they just want to see how much they can go, how many women they can, they can get into bed. Yeah. So that thing is happening. There is some men that are genuinely interested or prefer the woman from a different country because of the reasons that I mentioned, where they feel those women are exotic, they are feminine, they're, to match up with their masculine energy, and they are motherly, they are, all that kind of good stuff, which is very true because I guess I come from Africa where, like, you know, how we look at men is different from the, the other side of the world. One thing they miss, they neglect to think about is also as African people, those people from the third world country. I can talk from, because I've talked to, enough people from other cultures. They are raised up to be the helper to the guy, while the guy provides for the household. So if you are home, you are taking care of the house, you are taking care of the kids, and this man goes to work, brings it at the end of the month, brings in some money, and yeah, he's supposed to support the family. That's all there is to it. That's the way we are raised up. But this is, I guess, the same thing that they are avoiding in their own countries. They want their women to be submissive. At the same time, they want them to pay the 50% of the bills and whatever is needed in the household. But how does that work? I guess this is what the Western women are fighting. Like, look, if you were expecting me to be submissive, you better take up the whole thing, the whole tab, and pay the 100% of, the whole situation. So I am going to talk about the one of the ways that you could find out that this person is a passport bro. Yeah. So discreetly, if this person visits you, disc this this discreetly look in their passport and see if they have all these multiple stamps in their passports, like in from which countries, depending on the job they do. If they have all these stamps and within like whatever period of time, and then like they suddenly have stamps from Vietnam, from Philippines, from Jamaica, from Kenya, from like that, must be a red flag to you. You have to question that. Okay, now you are not directly going to say, okay, so you go on in these other countries to meet girls or whatever. Like I said, discreetly, you want to question them, find out what they were doing in these countries. If they say they were working, and then they've told you that this is the kind of work they do, and they travel a lot in these countries just because they go for work and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, then again, that becomes like the whole different story. But then if they are going there for vacation, like, okay, that should raise some red flags. Yeah, because like you start wondering, like, how many women are they getting in touch with? Because obviously, if they are vacationing in those countries, they just don't wake up one day and say, okay, today, I am going to the Dominican Republic. I am going to Jamaica. I am going to Colombia. I am going to Kenya, or I'm going to Tanzania. No. First, they plan, and just to make them feel comfortable, what they do is they befriend some people online, preferably women, because they know that once they befriend a woman, yeah, they endear themselves by sending them presents and like, oh, okay, I guess they come in the name of love. What they do is they were going to melt your heart, and you're like, oh, this is an American man or Western man that's coming to visit me, and blah, 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 and he loves me, and he's going to marry me, and all that kind of good stuff, right? Because they want you to feel that kind of way. But the question is, once they visit you, of which most of you are sleeping with them on the same visit, on the first visit. What happens is, if they have been all over these countries and they leave you with these unknown diseases, what are you going to do? So you really need to be careful about these passport bros, because they prefer you to the Western woman, right? Because they think you are special, they think you are exotic, they think you are more feminine. Perhaps they just want to use you. And like I said, they melt your heart because they come with a tag that says made in America, made in the UK, and they've got like a dollar sign, a pound sign, or whatever. And then you're like, this is life. That's not life. And honestly speaking, what the passport bros are saying is that whatever, like in the Western world, life is cheaper. And I can attest to that. Like, yes, there's some things, although I feel that there's some things that some are cheaper and some are more expensive. And then if you go to these third world countries, some are cheaper and some, I guess, are more expensive. For example, like if you talk about rent, yes, rent is more expensive in the Western world. Like, for example, I have seen some apartments that are like $2,000, and you could easily rent that house or apartment in the third world country for a fraction of that. But that is just some of the examples. I'm not saying that's all the examples. Not every person that you are meeting online has a genuine intentions. They not everyone has genuine love for you. Not everyone has genuine, like they want to visit your third world country. It doesn't mean that they are there because they they want you, they love you. They're, maybe some of them, for all you know, they're there because they want to add you to the statistics of how many women they have slept with, right? And how many countries they have visited. As a passport bro, they just want you to add you to the long list of the things that they have done. So all I'm saying is just be careful. Just don't publicize every time you meet these men online to say you are now in love. No, it doesn't work that way, because some of them would come and visit you, quite all right. Some of them would actually just talk to you online, and then it ends there. They block you. They get whatever they want, whatever it is that they want, then they'll block you. And then some people would actually go as far as visiting you, and then once they get what they want, then that's it. They forget about you. And then some, maybe they're genuine. They just have this genuine preference for for you, and they have fallen in love with you, and they will come back to you and marry you. So that's to make this video about, because I have seen it a lot. I have seen, let me just give you one example without mentioning names, so that I don't want to be insulted. Okay, there's this one particular girl that I used to see on TikTok. She went online and then she met this African American guy. This American guy came all the way to Zambia to visit them, and they went as far as making like a nice wedding. a very beautiful wedding. But even in that moment, I knew it in my heart that this relationship, uh, I wish them all the best. However, I know they this trend, the passport bros, and if it's going to work, I am crossing the fingers for them that it works and they live happily ever after. But chances are it may not work. Guess what? This person didn't even make it to the US. However, I don't think they are together because she doesn't post this, relationship anymore. And then she has actually gone a step further to do everything that the person that is no longer dealing with that person does, namely deleting all the wedding pictures, the posts that she made about the person. And so yeah, so now the passport bros or passports, passport whatever, is not just bros that are doing it. There's women that are doing it too. Women from the third world countries, they go online specifically to look for someone to fall in love with this person that will help them as a stepping stone, to the Western country. And then once they get to the Western country, they will definitely put up with anything that they have to go through because they know their end goal. Once the documentations come out, in the US, they actually call it green card. In Canada, they call it permanent residency card. And then once you get that card, they get that card, trust me, they will run away from the guy because they didn't love the guy in the first place. And so this is happening every day. So I guess it's everyone that has to be careful. The men and the women. Yeah, they all have to be careful. Anyways, this is just what I thought about talking about today. And please go ahead and share this video because a lot of people need to hear this information. Share the video to anybody that you think would love to hear this information so that they can use some of the suggestions that I've suggested in this video. And yeah, all right, guys. If you have any experience or any question, please head on over to the comments and let me know what you think about this video or what your experience has been. And then we can have a conversation that way. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching and we'll see you in the next video.